east of Kirkwood, also Little York and south of Alexis until 12:45 this afternoon. Hail size likely to the size of quarters, and we could see winds up to 60 miles an hour. So let's zoom in here a little bit closer, get right into Monmouth. You can see, yes, some extremely heavy rain, especially on the north and east side of town as you go right along Illinois 164. Likely going to be some good ponding on the roadways. Could even see some flash flooding as there is some very heavy rain falling with this particular storm. Let me pull up the hail probability and you can see, yeah, absolutely we're seeing some hail fall from this storm, especially as you go north and east of town. Let me plot some of the roads on here. So there's US 34, and then there, of course, you have 164, Illinois 164. So as you come out of town there and you take that right-hand curve right along US 34, that's where you're going to run into likely some perhaps quarter-size hail. We've even seen some hail up to the size of golf balls at times with this particular storm. Here's the actual hail size as indicated by Doppler radar, where you're seeing kind of the brighter orange. That's where we're seeing some of the larger hailstones fall at this time. So let me go back to the actual reflectivity. Yeah, very sizable storm. This is moving due north, by the way. Let me put a loop on this so you can see where this has passed through here in the last 45 minutes or so. Really reached its maximum intensity before it hit Highway 34. Now we're starting to see this de-intensify a little bit, weaken a little as it's heading off to the north. But let's stop the loop. Let's put the track on it because it is eventually going to be heading for areas in Mercer County once we get beyond the 12:45 time frame, especially as we get closer to 1 o'clock. So again, this storm has a history of producing quarter-size hail, also blinding rain, and we could see wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour as this storm moves through. So this is a storm that you really want to stay away from windows. Quarter-size hail can definitely do a good amount of damage because you're talking about 1 inch in diameter. So there's your arrival times as we track this into your hometown right up along US 67. We've got 9 minutes to Alexis, about 21 minutes to Viola, and then beyond there, we start tracking it up a little bit closer to preemption. So an early heads up. Anyone along that US 67 corridor to the north of Monmouth, if this storm maintains its strength and intensity, it's going to be coming your way here as we head closer to the 1 o'clock hour. So again, very potent storm. We're going to keep a close eye on that. We've had one confirmed report of quarter-size hail. That was in Monmouth. I want to bring up the hail size chart because you can see what kind of damage we're talking about. So anything quarter size, there's little to no exterior damage, but you can definitely get some damage to plants. This is in terms of damage to your house. But earlier, this storm was warned for golf ball size hail. That can cause exterior paint damage to homes and also put dents in your vehicles. A reminder, too, as we tracked this at the 11 o'clock hour, we are under a higher threat of severe weather, especially for our Illinois hometowns. That's future radar as we go into the afternoon. You can see, yeah, we are expecting several storms to start erupting on both sides of the river, but the strongest storms are expected to be on the Illinois side, hence why you're in that brighter red shading. So let me take this back to the beginning and you can see areas from Sterling down to Geneseo, including Galesburg, Macomb, points to the east, Kewanee, Monmouth, Princeton. You're all under that higher risk for severe weather, and that is a threat track level 2 out of 5. Our biggest threat today is going to be damaging winds. Those could get up to 60, 70 miles an hour. Secondary threat, well, that's going to be large hail up to the size of golf balls. Also can't rule out an isolated tornado or two, though our threat for that is not nearly as high as what we saw yesterday, thankfully. Let's go back to radar and give you one last update here before we send things back to regularly scheduled programming. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for northern Warren County. This will go for about the next 15 minutes or so, and we have had a confirmed report of hail of the size of quarters. That just coming in out of Monmouth. The storm itself is moving due north at about 20 to 25 miles an hour, sometimes closer to 30 miles an hour, but this is definitely one that you want to stay away from windows as it continues to move to the north in your direction. So an early heads up, those of you that are in Mercer County, also want to keep an eye on this storm here. If it continues to intensify again and we see that hail core ramp up, I'll break in and give you another update. We'll continue to track it there. But early heads up again as you head north of Alexis. Alexis, you're next in line. And then from there, it travels due to the north right along US 67, Viola, and eventually preemption. you will be in the path of this storm. There's plenty of storm energy out there too, by the way. I don't see any reason why this thing would not continue its current intensity, if not cycle a little bit more. Here's a look at that storm energy, by the way, and where you're seeing those hotter colors, the hotter oranges and yellows, that's where we have the most energy available. And there's a good corridor of that, especially on the Illinois side of the river, that this storm system can take advantage of as it continues its travels to the north. So again, main area of concern is in northern Warren County. That severe thunderstorm warning will go until 12:45. The immediate Quad Cities, we are in the clear for now. We'll watch this system as it gets a little bit closer. Should there be any further warnings or reports of large hail, we'll certainly break into programming and let you know. Otherwise, we'll continue to have live coverage on this, streaming on our website, of course, at WQAD.com. You can check out our social media, YouTube, and also make sure you have the News 8 app. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for northern Warren County until 12:45. We'll keep an eye on it, keep track on it. Until then, we'll send you back to regularly scheduled programming.
So much grief and so